But yeah, man, we did get some official Deshaun Watson news. This is a guy we've obviously been monitoring, trying to see, interest levels and stuff like that. And on Friday, yeah, initially the reports were that going into Friday, initially the reports were that he was no longer interested in the Cleveland Browns. And we talked about what that scenario would look like for the Browns and Baker Mayfield with him requesting a trade.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, that's ultimately why the deal got done for Deshaun Watson, because Cleveland was kind of in a bind in a sense that they knew Baker wasn't going to come back. He wasn't going to be happy. So from there, you get this massive deal, including multiple draft picks, a fully guaranteed contract, 5 years, $230 million. Yeah, I mean, it was nuts. But if you could, real quick, Deke, read off the exact trade details in terms of, I think it was 3 first-round draft picks. I think it was, I'll let you take over for that part.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it was 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
It was, hold on, I have
it. Deke said, I got it. Wait a minute, I don't. All right, I got it again.
Yeah, 3 first-round picks, 2022, 2023, and 2024, as well as a 2023 third-round pick and a 2024 fourth-round pick. Browns got back a 2024 fifth-round pick and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So in the words of Farron Bradford, F them picks. Absolutely. That's what the Browns said. But like I said, I thought that they had to do that mainly because of how the Baker situation played out. Prior to that, Deshaun had narrowed it down to, I think it was Atlanta and Carolina, if I remember correctly. But yeah, man, when when Cleveland had to do what they had to do, I do like it for both sides, though, if that makes sense. Well, and before I get to, why I like it and stuff like that, what was your initial reaction when you saw it, man?
Shit.
You went right there?
Yeah. That sucks. Browns have a pretty good team. They got a pretty good quarterback. That sucks.
I was waiting. I thought you was going to go fluff it up real nice or something differently. My man said, nope, this is what I felt like.
Wasn't too thrilled. But then you see that he got a ton guaranteed, got some extra on his contract, the picks they gave up. He might even get suspended for like 6 games or something this season. So they're going to have a lot of cap allocated for Jacoby Brissett to be maybe playing their first 6 games. And then after this, because I think this season is probably their best window because they have Deshaun Watson. They kind of negotiated or finagled the cap hit to where it's not that bad this year. But then all of a sudden it's going to ramp up the rest of the way. So I don't know how they're going to be able to sign a bunch of dudes. They're going to be missing a bunch of their first-round picks. So it might hurt them a little bit more long-term. But this year, I mean, if he doesn't get suspended, they're going to be a solid squad. That was my take. I mean, it was a lot. At the same time, we talked about getting a franchise guy. I mean, sometimes when you have that chance, you just do it, and that's what the Browns did. But I like the route that we're taking, too. I mean, these were kind of like the routes that the Steelers could have taken one way or another. And just knowing where we were, we didn't have the roster, I think, that Cleveland had.
Right.
So I actually think the way we're going is going to benefit us. As much as it may suck in the moment, not having the franchise guy, not having that certainty, we're building a team. And I think I was looking, man, I don't have the exact stats on me. This is maybe for another day. I want to look into it. But the amount of quarterbacks that have made the Super Bowl over the last like 5 or 6 years that were on contracts that were very affordable is up there. I mean, I think it's most of the team. A lot of that has to do with Brady taking his pay cuts. But think Jared Goff on his rookie deal. I think Mahomes before his cap hit like really went up 2 times with the Chiefs. Even last year, you had Burrow on his rookie deal, Stafford on a really affordable contract. So I'm just saying, I think the blueprint's still there for us. I'm not writing us off because I think we're gonna have a really good defense.
Well,
those were all my thoughts, though. It was like a mix of emotions. Shit early, and then just thinking of it more and more. It's like, okay, I mean, that's a lot of money. Deshaun Watson's really gonna have to play really good, which he's a really good quarterback. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, first off, if you're the Steelers, don't fret. We got an upgraded quarterback, babe. We're good. We're not going to have the situation from a year ago. Deke has already explained that to me, and like I said, I'm 100% on board with you there, man. But I did share well, actually, I didn't go the full dooms. Oh man, I can't believe this. It was just kind of funny to me, man. because now we get a chance to see, which method is going to work better. The method that we went with, where we built up the roster around our quarterback, knowing that he's going to have some limitations, versus the Browns selling the farm for the franchise quarterback. And I thought their roster would take a little bit more of a hit than it did, but honestly, it really hasn't taken a hit to that extent, because now you're getting potentially guys coming in there for cheaper. I think Will Fuller is looking to go back there, or looking to go there. Obviously, you said Jacoby Brissett. He's a guy that's trying to go there as well. That's the part where, I say that's the residual income on a Deshaun Watson. You're going to get players that are trying to get a ring that will go there because they believe in him, and they will go for a more team-friendly deal, even if it's only for a one-year situation, so that way they can feel like they give themselves a legitimate shot to win and compete. That's just the beauty of that. But for me, man, the thing that I did like about this move, because like I said, for me, my reaction, like I said, I just kind of laughed like, dang, all right, we're going to get it. I really want to see which method works better here. But once I got past that, man, I started to look into the details, and I kind of enjoy it for both parties. Number one, for Cleveland, you've had a QB1 in terms of Baker Mayfield, but when's the last time you had a franchise quarterback? And that was the thing for me, where I'm like, if you're a franchise that's been starving for a franchise quarterback and you finally get an opportunity to get one, it makes sense to go get that guy. Whereas for us in Pittsburgh, we've experienced almost 20 years of having that franchise guy, and that doesn't even count for the older people that got a chance to experience Bradshaw. So for us, it was okay for us to say, you know what, man, we could take a little step back and go this route and build it up around, because we've already won on the other way. So for me, it was like, man, for Cleveland, that made sense to go ahead and make that move. But then if you're Deshaun Watson, the one thing that, kind of got overlooked, because the money was obviously so robust, was the fact that he felt that they had the best roster available in comparison to Atlanta and in comparison to Carolina. And I would agree with that. Cleveland, we talk about them. We said all the time, like, especially these past couple of years, they've been stacked offensively and defensively. It's more so Baker's been struggling, and obviously they have injuries at receiver and stuff like that. But as a whole, we thought that their roster was ready to go. We just knew that Baker had his limitations. Whereas now you're putting Deshaun Watson into that mix. That does elevate them in a major way. But then I also like the fact of how they structured this contract. And this doesn't have anything to do with AFC North. This doesn't have anything to do with Steelers versus Browns. This is just me talking as a player, former player here. I love the fact that Cleveland structured his first year the way that they did. It's $47 million fully guaranteed that first year. 46 of it is in signing bonus. Only $1 million in base salary, because even though he was cleared from a criminal standpoint, we know that the NFL can still discipline him. 6 games is what everybody has been talking, just based on what we've seen in the past. Obviously, I think Ben was the one who kind of set that precedent right there with that amount of time. But by them giving him $46 million in signing bonus, only $1 million in base salary, if he is suspended for any duration this season, it's only coming out of that $1 million from the base salary. And to me as a player, you love that, because it shows that the organization is having your back. They're sticking with you. And even though it might not be popular amongst fans that didn't get him, and I can understand it, for the Browns, they're saying, look, man, this dude criminally was not, brought up on charges, and he still hasn't even tried to do a settlement, meaning he's willing to fight this thing all the way through. And you're not doing that if you feel like you're guilty. That's just kind of been my perspective with that. But to me, man, to see that Cleveland backed him in that sense to protect his money also from the NFL, I thought was just an awesome gesture. And that's why me as a former player, I respect the heck out of it, because we saw how Houston handled it. And not every team would handle it the way that Cleveland's handling that situation right now. Obviously, they're going to have scrutiny, and I understand why. But when you're talking about due process, innocent until proven guilty, it's like, man, this guy's checking those boxes off, even though people don't give him the benefit of the doubt. So it was good to see the Browns actually support him in that avenue as well, man.
Yeah. They're going to have a good team. They're going to have a good team.
Now you're talking about, Deshaun Watson with Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
I like that a lot,
and like
bro.
you said, if a receiver or two, like Jarvis Landry might go back to the Browns on a cheaper deal. Or you brought up Will Fuller.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that. He had
linked.
that connection with Houston with Watson already.
And they were super productive. You look at some of their numbers, especially on the deep balls. Yeah, but they're already saying like Will Fuller is definitely, leaning a lot more heavily to go there. And in fact, they said that was why Will even went to Miami a year ago, because he was hoping that Deshaun Watson would end up there. So for me, man, when I hear that, I'm like, all right, Amari Cooper, potentially a Will Fuller, and then if you could squeeze in a Jarvis Landry, I think that's pretty daggone good in terms of the weapons. You still got your running backs and things like that. So this is probably going to be their best window, but I
think this year, because when that cap hit starts ballooning, and since they bumped it so far down this year, I mean, that thing's going to be up in the 50s then.
No, it's going to be pretty significant, but how many times have we talked about cap hits with other quarterbacks that are elite and they still find ways to be force multipliers? That's why you bring in a Deshaun Watson. That's why if you're the Chiefs, you pay Patrick Mahomes what you paid him. That's why, we go down that list of all these guys that have gotten super robust contracts. I mean, even for a while with Ben, it was like, man, you paid Ben what he paid him because this dude is a force multiplier. And they account for a ton of wins. So to me, man, they're still going to be all right. I mean, if they want, they could play the restructure game as well in a year or two with multiple players on that team. Very similar to what, we can continue to do if we want to clear up even more cap space. We talk about it, man. When teams want to make that thing work, man, that cap becomes more fairy tale than hard facts.
I feel like the Steelers are doing the opposite approach of what the rest of the league is doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rest of the league, dynamic quarterback. Well, we're taking our chance at quarterback, but you got a lot of teams with top 10 guys, young guys that are going to air it out. 5,000 yards you're looking at. Herbert, Burrow, Russ Wilson, Mahomes, Derek Carr, Browns getting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
But what we're doing, little bit the antidote, potentially. If we do it right, we still got to see what we do at quarterback. We still got to see if one of these dudes step up. If it is Trubisky, and I've been saying this, and I was saying it all weekend because there was a bunch of debates as I'm going out at bars and stuff. We need to see Trubisky, Mason, I'm guessing it's going to be Trubisky, in the limelight. As I mentioned earlier, what do you do in the clutch moments? We got 2 minutes. You need to make a play. Because I don't care how many times we make you throw the ball, because we might be running it through nausea a lot.
Yeah, which we should.
We just need to see we just need to see you step up, because I think, and this is what I'm talking about with the antidote, we're building nausea, offensive line, defense. And that's the way that you could beat a bunch of these teams. Yeah. It's just you still need a quarterback you can trust when the chips are on the line.
Yeah.
But I think we got a little formula here to combat what everyone else is doing in the AFC, if it's done correctly.
Yeah, we're trying to close in on that 49ers model. That's the 49ers in Tennessee, I think, are like prime examples of this model being successful. You can win with it. But with both of those organizations, even though they've done some significant winning, we've always felt like they were limited, even in those big games that they were winning. I don't think any of us kind of picked them in any of those big games that they were, outside of me just fooling around saying, yeah, man, Jimmy G going to beat Aaron Rodgers because it's the Niners and they always beat Aaron. Outside of that, it's like you don't really pick those type of teams to advance far. But it has been done. So we'll see, man, if we can follow that same method. But you're right, man. The margin of error is going to be small, man. The quarterbacks, whoever they are, they're going to have to be efficient in those moments when we have to have it, when we need a score, when we need you to actually throw the ball. We're going to need to see them be able to do that and do it efficiently. So, that's the part for it, man, that we're going to see which method works better, the franchise quarterback or the stacked roster and, a little bit limited at quarterback. But either way, it's going to be exciting for us, man.
Yeah, all of a sudden, are we the second toughest division in the league?
Yeah, because that AFC West, bro, that thing is filthy right now, man.
And that's insane.
And they got pass rush help out there now. I said, Lord, man.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about the Raiders getting Devontae Adams either.
I want to say Raiders got Devontae, then they turned around and got Chandler Jones. I'm like, bro, Chandler and Max Crosby, holy cow, that is stupid. But then Devontae, I'm like, yeah. Him and Renfro.
Yeah, like, would you be surprised if the Raiders just won the division now?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when we're talking about the AFC in this playoff race, man, it's gonna be tight. It's a lot of teams right now in this AFC all of a sudden, man.
Oh, it will be. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I mean, you got probably 10 or 11 teams legitimately in the playoff mix. I would say you got your four. You got your 4 from the West, 4 from your North here. Bills, Patriots, and then. Oh, I mean, Titans, I think they're on the downswing, but maybe you can still throw them in the mix at least.
Well, and
especially because that division's shitty. So
that's what I'm saying.
Between them and the Colts.
Yep. So like I said, man, that's a ton of teams out there right now, like legitimate teams, not the ones we talk about where it's like,
That's
oh yeah,
teams.
think they could do it. It's like, no. They are legit. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like it's gonna be a tight race for us getting in this thing. But if we take care of business, man, we'll be fine. But we're gonna have to play, from the gate. We gotta jump out of this thing and start playing the way that we need to play, man.